what we have achieved. A couple of things that are important to point out. In July, we were able to launch a referral program. So it will allow essentially anyone to become ambassador and basically advertise our lands and get referral income, and also give the discounted small discounted land at Polygon to like people who you referred to. So we just started the program. So if you guys want to earn extra income and also share our project, feel free to join the program. So it's available on our Polygon app. We can also share probably this update been shared. What else have we achieved? We improved gameplay for mining mission. So this is something intangible a little bit. So we both, me, Dima, and our father, we were on the conference. We had a chance to get feedback on our gameplay and in general review it and compare with other projects. And we realized that we need to a little bit improve economics there on the side of the unlimited emissions. Not the unlimited emissions, but emissions should be probably balanced with the burns, and essentially not be like 99% of the play-to-earn projects. So we updated a little bit the gameplay and the logic to make it more exciting and interesting, and that's why we're decided to kind of put more efforts on the mining mission itself, right? But we know that you guys expecting it, and with that being said, we have the initial kind of like the test run for the mechanic. If you just want to see how the car is going to navigate and for example, how it's going to look like approximately the map and how you're going to drive, you can go to dextest.marscolony.io. It's our test link, so you can test it out yourself on mobile, on the web. So it's just like the very raw, just version to see how the car drives, but it's different, so you can give us a feedback. But it's super early, so I'm just dropping it here. We also did a lot of things on the side of revamping backend and front-end infrastructure. So on the backend side, we were able to improve mission quality to enable more players to play missions at the same time. On the front-end side, we are cyclically doing a lot of updates. So maybe Logical Expedition would like to share more what we've done here. If you want to share a few words, let me. If not, we'll just can do it later.
I'll do it later. Thank you.
Well, do you want to update us a little, or do you want to share a little bit on what we've done on the front end and back end side in terms of infrastructure?
Okay, so we have made two big infrastructure changes. Firstly, we migrated our backend to PostgreSQL from Redis to make it more stable, and currently it is on testnet, and soon we migrated to mainnet with fixing some bugs that you guys asked for, just testing it now. And also we changed some did some restructure of frontend to make to come closer to new designs. We have new designs, we have new app structure, we have big plans, because as for now we got much knowledge how to make it more user-friendly. So we are in one step to a new design and made a big architecture preparation there.
Yeah. So just like to recap on this, the design we're gonna add a proper, the nice sidebar, which will make it more user-friendly for everyone to access missions, to access your lands, to in general navigate and get started with the app faster. So that's something we're gonna be, currently it's in progress, and we're gonna be rolling it out this month. So hopefully very soon. And on the side of the next steps, there's a couple of initiatives we continue working on, as of course as mining mission launch. That's something that we're working, finalizing mechanics and do the phase 2. And hopefully this month we'll be able to see that. And also we continue working on Polygon growth initiatives. So I'm just going to share what we done and what we also planning to do. So on the slide 4, you can see what we actually achieved. So just a quick recap, right? So we launched Polygon Planet Stats for people to be able to see like what are the earnings since the model is different. We launched referral program. We launched chain switcher. So it kind of like, if you're not connected to the right chain, it recommends you to the chain to connect. In future, we're gonna revamp it even more. We also optimized landscape loading speed. So whoever currently testing this out and working, if it kind of like works 3x much faster. So let us know what you think. If it actually improves experience. We're launched landscape view on Polygon. Launched music, launched early July, we launched Decrypt mission, and we transitioned Decrypt and Code mission to play to earn. We also launched renaming avatars, the minor feature. What we moved to August, September is in-game leaderboard, NFT crates opening, and mining missions. Mining missions, as we just recap on this, we decided to pay more attention to this to make it a really proper mission and not just like just a mini game with the proper mechanics. So it will be just like a full-fledged game, not just like the basic click and earn stuff. So that's why we decided to make it better quality. And you guys probably gonna thank us for this later. Features we deprioritized. First of all, robot missions. Since we initial idea was to launch a new mission every month, but we realized that in games we want to launch something more exciting. So with that in mind, we're paying more attention to mining mission, and robot missions probably we're going to look into in the later stages. We also decided to deprioritize process of adding liquidity into pools. So there got to be better ways. We just going to drop proposal on our forum very soon. Right now it's still internal discussion. And we also slightly deprioritize Polygon DEX, just given that it takes a bit more effort for us to like deploy it on Polygon. And right now there's no liquidity, so there's no need right now to launch it. On the side of what we're going to be focusing in this month, right? So in August and also September. So we continue working on Polygon growth initiatives. So first of all is we're probably going to look into stimulating daily claim by slashing rewards, if not claim within 24 hours. So that's something we discussed last month with you guys. That's something we're looking to implement. Chain and will bring us up in the trackers, and also will be more exciting. We also will allow users to claim Polygon land for MarsColony. So essentially, that's something we're still considering. We're not dropping this idea. So in a nutshell, for anyone who's here and just fresh, we looking to allow people who have colony tokens on Harmony, bridge those tokens into Polygon, and also be able to claim Polygon land on the initial marketplace, like initial claim through our app for the MarsColony that I bridge. Essentially, claiming event will result in burning all the tokens, so that's gives extra burn opportunity, and should probably also stimulate users who will want to migrate into Polygon. And also allow non-avatar owners to play missions and earn. So this initiative is created for the sake of people to get started with the app without actual investments. So this is something that will be like give it a try. If you like the gameplay, you can buy avatars or buy land and start using the app, but you should be able to do it for free, like a lot of other apps. So that's the essential logic here. But of course, if you don't do any investment, your like maximum, like the tokens you can generate is way lower than people who have avatars. So it'd be like maybe less than 10%. On the play to earn engagement items, we're still looking into, first of all, it will be app UI revamp. So that's something that we just shared with you. It will be a huge revamp of the UI. We'll make UI way more user friendly. And also we're going to focus a lot on mobile. So previously we looked into mobile, but maybe didn't pay much attention. Right now we decided and realized that more than 50% of users using mobile devices. So we need to make a mobile experience primary experience. So that's what we're going to be looking into, aside from revamping sidebar. for the mining missions, we essentially need those tools that are inside of the boxes. So we're going to be doing opening utility boxes. So everyone who has utility boxes right now will be able to open them and also use that utility in the mining mission. So we're going to be launching mining missions, and also we'll follow the data transition on that side, similar to what we've done with the coding missions. For Polygon, we'll be launching avatars collection. So we have a new collection of avatars that are going to be launched on Polygon this or next week. We'll see how the timeline goes, but we almost finalized it here. And once avatars are ready at Polygon, we'll be launching missions. So it'll be coding missions too. We're going to add buffs, debuffs from avatars professions. That in-game leaderboard, in-app land marketplace, and in-app utility and team marketplace. Lastly, we're going to work on, we just realized there's a small system upgrades needs to be happen on the side of the gas fees management. So right now, if you're using Polygon, probably you observed that right now, sometimes gas settings are not very correct. So you have to manually set the gas limit, which kind of slows down the process of doing anything. So that's what we're going to revamp. And things that we're going to move to other iterations. First of all, it's robot missions. As I mentioned, we want to focus more on building high quality mission. And that's why we're focusing more efforts on mining mission. And after that, we only can look into robot missions. And lastly, Polygon DEX. So that's something that we see when demand grows for that, we're essentially going to work on this. So that's essentially the things we're going to look into in September. This already in progress. The first item, app UI revamp, is already in progress. Mining missions, we're still working on it. Please test it out. Let us know your thoughts on the dextest.MarsColony.io. I just dropped an AMA chat. But this is very, very raw. It's not even a mission. This is just like to show you how the map will look like. You can test it out. And that's basic. I see Mythological Expedition already shared this. So that's all the update. I just wanted to make it quick. There's details on each initiative on the other pages, but why not us just take a time and just have you guys ask us any questions you have, or we can talk about anything you guys want, because you probably have a lot of questions, and also like anything like on how many sites if you have. And guys, like Team Lagushka and Mythological Expedition, if you guys want to share anything you like or explain the mission mechanism or stuff, let us know too. If you guys want to talk a little bit.
We had a long discussion today about NFTs for mining mission and how to activate them, how to use them. So we started to develop this thing along the mining mission. So the collection of the NFT collection contract of this GER will be soon. It is preparing, and firstly, I think we will allow users to open utility crates, loot boxes, and soon after it, there will be mining mission with the possibility of using these loot boxes, of using things from loot boxes. So also I want to say that Eugene mentioned that we are planning to do some cut-off of earned colony if user claims after 24 hours. It's wrong a bit because we decided to make it 36 hours on the previous AMA, not to confuse anybody. Yes, I think. If you
thanks for correcting. Actually, yes, 36 hours. It makes sense. So if you guys, one more thing actually, I think what we didn't share is maybe the mechanics of the mining mission. So if you guys want to know more, like how it's going. Because right now, if you test it, you just see like you run the miner, you can drive to the mining source and mine resource, but there's no obstacles here. So just like heads up in this, we're going to be adding worms that will be popping up randomly, and they'll be blocking your entrance to resource, which essentially will be confronted with a worm where you'll have to either flee or pay contribution, or even maybe even try to challenge the worm for a fight, which will lead to either your success or failure, and essentially will lead to success or failure of your like miner, essentially, which you later have to fix. So there's gonna be like potential losses that you can have, and not just the wins. So here we're trying to address the situations where we'll like in any case people will be like so the mission itself, and also probably balance emissions and burns, and also just make it like not like the win-win game, but also where you win but you also can lose, and not be like as I mentioned, like 99% of the other play turn logic items where you just gain tokens without limits, right? So that's something we don't want to provide essentially. Yeah, so maybe let's just take a look at quickly if there's any. Yeah.
Also about NFT crates, question to Nemological. Is it worth mentioning that about migration?
Yeah, thank you. It is 90% that we will migrate loot boxes. I mean, utility crates contract on Harmony, because we need some new functionality there, but this migrating will not be visible for regular users, but probably and possibly we will do migration to new contract soon, but no crate will be lost, and just technical.
Yeah, it will be pretty smooth to everyone.
Okay. Alright guys, let me just like see if there's any questions in the chat. So I just see there's some things coming. And also whoever wants to share on talk, ask any questions here on stage, just feel free to raise your hand. And let me just take a look at the AMA chat questions. So I see instead of minting new avatars for Polygon, why don't you use the existing Harmony avatars? That's a good question, and quite makes sense a lot. So the answer is like, why not use this existing avatars as because first of all is we have a different planet, so it also makes sense to have a different avatars, which kind of like follow the logic and idea there. So for Polygon, it will be more like a purplish, more peaceful type of avatars, which should reflect the audience on Polygon. So we're trying to imagine how the people and how the general audience on that chain will look like, and reskin and make those avatars more similar to how the community on Polygon potentially will look like. So that's why we decided to do that. Secondly, because like right now we project as this early stage, we don't have this like high user growth, but moving forward in the future, we're gonna need avatars for Harmony to take part in Harmony missions. So probably for Polygon missions, you also need your own collection of avatars, just to satisfy the demand for avatars. Yeah, so that's kind of, and lastly, of course, is it's actually utility for Polygon, because essentially claiming an avatar burns colony tokens. So that's something that is we consider potential good. But moving forward, maybe in the future, we at some point in time allow people with Harmony avatars to even play on Polygon, missions on Polygon. That's something we could potentially in the future see if that makes sense. Yep, so let's see what other questions are there. Okay, so we have So, all right. So there was a question before earlier today is,
Eugene, there is a question about liquidity for Polygon in the mention.
yeah, that's a good question. So this is something we're discussing, and this is something we're going to be proposing moving forward. So as you guys remember, just a story before, right? So with Harmony, what we did is we put liquidity, which we just deposited liquidity from proceeds of token sale, but the market was going up, and we were just later on, as we shared, we later burned those extra tokens we put into liquidity. But right now, for Polygon, situation is a bit different. So we suspect that people will be just dumping. Some people will be keeping it. Some people will be just dumping tokens, and essentially this leads to at early stage crazy drops in price and essentially a dropping of liquidity. So we do have ideas around kind of like a community reputation where where we will just stimulate people to community itself to add liquidity, and many projects actually follow the same logic where not reputation but in general where community itself creates liquidity pools themselves with their tokens, and then that liquidity pools is tradable and essentially creates a market for the token, right? So we currently thinking around maybe towards stimulating community towards slight liquidity into the pools, but this is right now on the idea stage, so we're thinking around that. Potentially we can also contribute liquidity, but it's something we're still thinking around this. So we're gonna be dropping proposal on that site. It currently is in private review, so we're reviewing it with the team, and once it's ready, we're gonna drop out on our forum. But also, if you guys have ideas how we can make it better, just feel free to just drop the message on the forum, community proposals. We're gonna take a look and we can all discuss together. Team, you have anything else to add here?
Yeah, I want to go back to a first question in AMA chat from BJ810. There are several questions. Firstly, about upgrading plots to third level, because BJ means that there is no motivation to do it. Yeah, we had once plans. There is discussion on the forum about making it dynamic, but there was a bit interest in it, so it is frozen now. So currently we don't have to make this dynamic or some another system, and changing the value of it, I think this would be unfair, but it can be still discussed. It can be still discussed. If you have idea what can be done with this, you can write it on forum. I think the topic with it is easy findable. So it will be nice if we have some raffles to win for Kratz or Avis, for example. Maybe Eugene Legushka can answer this.
It was nice to hear some.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm just reading this. Yeah, we can think about that around upgrades and that the fact that return investment is up. So we'll think around that. That could be, we can maybe give some discounts and some stuff, for example, like land claims and stuff like that. So we'll think through that. It's actually, I guess it was referring to Harmony upgrades level 3, right? So that's something that, remember, if you look into from the passive income perspective, that essentially will not give you extra benefit, like that much of the benefits as level 2, level 1. Yeah, so that's something we can think through that. if you have any ideas, just let us know too. We're also looking into that, so we can improve it. Yep. And I see the question about what we're mining, right? So, are we mining Colony? Are we mining the resource? Or I see Legushka is answering, but you want to answer, Legushka?
Already answered, I suppose.
Yeah, it's so essentially yes, here. So yeah, for now we decided to start from Colony, right? Because why Colony was chosen, because we're transitioning passive income that you earn from like this is the first stage. You earn passive income from holding that upgrades, right, on your land, such as, for example, and then you're moving into active, right? So we have to convert Colony from passive to active by playing missions, but moving forward, it makes more sense to make it as ore, and you mining actual ore. So yeah, we're gonna right now it'll be Colony, essentially mining Colony, but moving forward, maybe we'll just even transition it to ore, because it kind of makes more sense, right, to have it ore, and then which essentially can be convertible to even Colony, right? Could be even like similar to like ore, could be something like a delayed version of Colony, which is, for example, convertible to Colony upon, let's say, a 6-month period. So similar to origami protocol or like DFK, stuff like that. So where you have like a secondary token. But that's just my random thought I'm just sharing. But yeah, Colony. But the mission will be exciting. So you have worms, you have obstacles, you have also your limited number of steps which you can take. So your goal will be to calculate properly the steps that you can take to mine the resource and also return on to back to base. And we'll try to make it less trivial, like as much as like less trivial, and also give more skills to people to be able to decide to basically they will like their actions will depend upon whether they're going to win or lose, not just random clicks like we have with the unfortunately coding missions. So it should be cool. Yeah.
I want to answer 2 more questions, if you're okay with it.
Sure. If I didn't answer, feel free.
So there is also a question about bots from the same BJ810, that there are a lot of bots. Yeah, we are aware about them. We see them, and in nearest future we will have some solutions to minimize possibility of automation of our missions. Yes. And another question I have seen in Harmony Planet chat, question about today's missions offline. There were about 3 hours where our missions were stopped. Yeah, this were some server problems. It accidentally rebooted, and while loading there were some problems. So we have fixed it, and now missions are stable and more stable. Yeah. Thank you for questions.
Yeah, for the org, that's something. As you remember, the proposal you guys voted for was transition to play turn plus the secondary token of war. So that's something that we're not forgetting about, and we're probably gonna have to drop a proposal on that side. It's how it's gonna be implemented, and then maybe just have you guys like let us know what you think of this. When will the rarity and XP avatars matter? That's a good question. I guess, Legushka, do you want to answer this? When are we going to launch this? It's a backend most of the task, and we plan it.
Actually, it's in our roadmap for this and next month. So probably this, but maybe next month.
Yeah, there's actually, as we kind of shared earlier, we want to just make perfect and put most of the resources on that, and also infrastructure. So we're gonna add it, and if you have time this month, definitely we're gonna add it. All right, so something that is in our roadmap that we just shared. And thanks for the question.
I will now post a link to the forum about making fees dynamic, the old thread. So if you're interested, maybe it is for BJ 810, maybe for further discussion. But feel free to comment. Maybe there is a good solution for this. Maybe no.
That's good. Is there any thoughts on looking at the rev share ratios? Please share. Like, I think I missed your suggestion. So 7 data. Can you share here? I would like to read it through and also comment on that. That's something I think I missed.
About share ratios, I want to add that there is also not problem with just share, just this mechanism.
So inviting you to speak.
Sorry?
No, nothing. Just continue, please. I just invited Dana.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if we reduce bot amount and reduce the difficulty, increase the difficulty of automation, I think that there will be less problems with rev share ratios. Because for now, bots just, as I know, eat biggest lens, biggest ratios. So we can discuss it, but if we restrict and make the maximum ratio, for example, of 50%, I'm not sure that this will help on this problem, but we can discuss. Maybe there should be a thread on forum.
Sure, and thank you for the opportunity, to communicate. I think the part of the problem is just how everybody's perceived it, right? Like when you purchase land, you have an expectation to do upgrades and increase those emissions. And I think that in part, right, the foundation of this comes back from, why would I upgrade if I have zero chance of getting it? And it goes to make the landowners just a few, right? If you have large volume of, it's almost impossible. And as I've, proved out and tried to stay active in the chats and active on the process, it's impossible for me to do 170 missions. So I would happily go, okay, great. I'd be glad to share those emissions with somebody who can actually go in and do the work. And when it becomes, or it's even more exciting right now, I would continue to invest, build, and that becomes the landowner's part of the community, and it makes the landowner actually become active. And I think if we look what's happened since that has gone to a zero emissions on the landowner side, it just created a negative, and a lot of people moved on and left because they felt like they don't have any balance, right? And I do think that a 50-50 share or whatever, and I proposed 50, I'm not really locked into 50. What I was really after was trying to get a balance that some portion went into it, goes to owners, so they have an investment and a return, and then participate as you can, right? I know my intention originally in the beginning was owning land and additionally, mining some where I could, for fun, right? Like I like the new mining mission look, and, you play the game sometimes for fun, but at the same time, you have an investment that you can get a return on, and you're part of the ecosystem. This proposal originally comes back from the one that was put together with the group that Rutherford put together. And we'd spent a great deal of time on this revenue share percentage and really went back and forth and talked it through at length, going, how do we encourage both sides? Because the truth is, without landowners, we don't have opportunity, including for myself. So I believe I want to be positively part of the solution. At the same token, you need avatars too, and you need players, and we get it. But how do I bring both to the party? What I feel like went so well for MarsColony in the beginning is that you had an exciting return on your investment, and the community went up, and there was tremendous chit chat, and you were having fun, making money all at the same time. We couldn't wait till avatars come out so we could be playing and competing at the same time we were earning. And it created, I thought, a really cool mixture that had tremendous value to the community. And as a primary investor, I'm invested in about 25 projects. I'm leading a few others, but it was the idea that, hey, I could do a little bit of both, and it kept me interested where I'd show up every day and be part of it, and I wanted to be able to compete and earn. So that's where I think the value of having that mixture, and again, I suggested 50, you'd have to really do a ROI on it, but when you remove the ROI completely, you also took away a significant base of the players, that were doing it, and then, of course, landowners are going to do it. I did it myself, and I'm like, okay, I got to look into getting a bot because I'm zero. But if it was half, I wouldn't look into getting a bot. I would just let it be going back to the community. And just the point that I was trying to make back to you, and I can send you a tag immunological on the on the dissertation that I wrote out, excuse me, in there to do it. And I've just watched from afar, and I think there's so many cool things that we could do. But it becomes a trust concern where people are going like, why would I upgrade all my poly lands? Why would I keep I've been rolling my poly pretty consistently, but if I'm going to have zero revenue, what's the point? Why would someone do it? So that's why I think we need both sides.
Sorry, okay. Can I elaborate a little, clarify with you a little bit?
Please.
Just on the 50-50 side. So, just like, sure, I correctly understood you here. So by 50-50 it means that just to keep the, like, so for example, let's say fully graded land, like 15 colony, right, like initial stage, right? So it suggests is like that 50% is constantly passive of that, is constant. And as another 50% is like is play to earn, so essentially fully based from the missions, right? That's what you mean by 50-50? Right.
Yeah, correct. And I think you would encourage both sides. I think you'd get a really warm response. You drive some of the pricing back to a more stable space that's affordable, and people can afford to pay attention. But yes, that is what I mean.
Got it. It's actually something that might be even possible. I don't want to speculate right now and giving you like false promises, but just if you think about this, potentially we're keeping there's a couple of like upgrades right now. They're currently bringing only passive income, so the robots and the base station and land. So that kind of currently having only passive income. So we just like reshuffle a little bit, and just to make it constantly passive, some part that essentially can give you this 50-50 split, and also like. And that's something we tried to do actually in Polygon. We called it actually universal basic income, and its component is small. I think it's around 15%. But let us also think about that 50% income as a passive, essentially without might be causing what I would like to say is kind of like the situation where you have excessive emission. And if you don't power it with new players, if you don't balance it out with the new players joining in, so basically if you don't do the XC model, or like a Ponzi-nomics model, unfortunately, then it will lead to the situation where if you don't power the growth every time with new users who go there and buy a new resource, let's say like avatars or something, then it will lead to dumps, what happened to XC and many other projects. So that's something for us to be aware of, like when we do the calculations. but that's something we can think about. That's essentially, and we plan, just to be clear, we plan to keep the passive income still there. So still there's, for example, base station land, we receive, there's always passive income from there on Harmony. And for robot assembly line, it's not like 100% fixed, so we can still think through this. But again, I just need to do the calculations of that. So how are we gonna look like and how gonna affect the long-term economy? But yeah, please tag me in the post again, if you don't mind. I think I saw that, but I just would like to take a look at that as well and see what we can do here moving forward.
Wonderful. And we're connected by DM, and I'm be glad to contribute whatever time and energy,
sure, please.
Whatever energy to help you figure it out. I have a couple of ideas how you could split it up and make a requirement that you can't get your passive until you build the open one to go to the players, right? Like, that's some other ideas that I'd be glad to share and happy to work on it.
Sure. Please share. Yeah. And for everyone, by the way, everyone else, like, guys, apologies if I was a little bit silent. We were quite super busy. Plus, we were if I wasn't very responsive on Discord, apologies in advance. Yeah, but thanks a lot for sharing here. All right, let me see if there's any other AMA chat questions. Anything else, guys? Anything else to share, to discuss? Just maybe a question, like, how do you feel around, I think I was asking before, but just curious how you feel around Harmony situation. You guys staying with Harmony? You guys like having any other thoughts?
That meant to be open, Eugene?
I'm sorry?
Is that meant to be open to the community or to the other two?
I mean, yeah, it could be just open to community in general. Just want to hear your thoughts on Harmony in general, like right now. Just, I mean, I know they going through the challenges, trying to address it, but just how you guys all feel about it. Because there were some different thoughts. Some people were asking us before to, like, let's migrate to other chains, and we also respond publicly that we stay in Harmony, but just want to see in general how everyone feels, and, you know, just...
I think most people are just unsure, and it's put everybody into this holding pattern that's not helped anything at all, right? Like, everybody's not sure what the next... like everybody's trying to get their position to understand to preemptively get in front of whatever's going to happen. The truth is that we really don't know what's going to happen. It's a very long process for repair. If it does happen, it's going to take a long time. Personally, I think the Harmony tech and stuff when I arrived 6 to 8 months ago, a year ago now, was solid, and they had great products, and they gave way to a whole bunch of products that Mars is part of, and there's lots of good things, like really, really good things about Harmony. I think the leadership has got to step up, and I think that the message was delivered in the last week. Talks of class action lawsuits and other things. I've been part of some guilds that, have been very aggressive, and I think that sent a wake-up call. So me personally, I'm very hopeful that the wake-up call message strengthens the leadership's perspective to make sure that the community is part of it. The beauty of crypto is it's about a community and a family, and we need to remember that as leaders, right? As we build projects and participate in projects, that's power of it is community, and we just have to hear out both sides. And I think if that stays and encourages, I know 1 or 2 projects that I'm working on, we probably would do cross change for fun and excitement, but Harmony would be home.
That's great feedback. We're also thinking around staying on Harmony. and I think community here is one of the best we ever met, faced. So we definitely don't want to like leave it and don't want to just forcefully or like ask people to move out elsewhere to other chains, but just looking forward how the situation will be resolved, and hopefully in a better way and there can be better proposals from them than just like emit more tokens. But in the meantime, we'll keep on building and stay in both chains. But also as builders, we also observe there's challenges also with sometimes with the blockchain itself. So sometimes even on the test network, we have to use, if I'm not mistaken, do we still use Avalanche, Dima?
We use Avalanche to snap, but this doesn't mean we moved Avalanche or something, because it is just
so that's something still weird.
More easy to use currently.
But let's see how it goes. All right, just a few final thoughts on the update, and also just to answer the question in the chat. For the time frame to build substantial gameplay. So it really depends upon what is meant by substantial gameplay. So from our perspective, and from my perspective, the team's mining mission will be the real gameplay, and that's something we're hopefully will be able to deliver in this month. There's a couple of blockers on our side. We decided to add animated worms and launch it. We're gonna work, of course, on the improvement of that. So we have a lot of things we're gonna add on to that mission itself. So we just don't want to stop on the early version. We want to add more and more items. I personally would like to add interacting with not just the worms, but with other potential not the villains, but users, but elements that would be keen to steal your resource or block you from accessing resource. Something like Fremen and Dune, but maybe a little bit different. So we look improvement of that. So that will be always work in progress. But the first version and the version we're gonna release, as I mentioned, hopefully in August, will be a full-fledged gameplay. Yeah. And we're, as I mentioned, staying on Harmony and continue supporting this. Hopefully, we're all going to be able to, see the better protocol and also like projects staying in there as ourselves. So just to wrap up, we're going to be publishing the today's update on the forum, so everyone can comment. Our next AMA will be the product update will be next month. If we have to make any other decision or proposals, we probably run any other AMAs. If you guys want to have more communications, let us know too, because we used to have weekly calls, right? We moved it to monthly calls. So if you guys down and would like to discuss any specific topics, also raise a question on raise this proposal on forum, and we can have any other formats, as you wish. Okay, cool. One more calls. Yeah, it's good. We can do more calls. And we also should consider better ways to engage the rest of the community, because it looks like a lot of people went offline or maybe not really available. But thanks everyone who came today. Thank you so lot for good questions. Any final thoughts, Slegushka, Logic Expedition?
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, probably. Guys, apologies. We're kind of tired, so it's already 12 a.m. here. So also about AMA time, we're probably going to maybe move it to a little bit earlier time, but make sure also it kind of works with your time zone. Thanks everyone for the call. Let's move to conversation to Discord. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thanks, bye.